Hey guys, welcome to another commentary done by Diggity. In the bottom right hand corner we have LZgamer as the blue Terran. Upper right hand corner we have StrifeCro as the yellow Zerg. And I'm going to try to rush through this commentary as best as rushing through a commentary can happen. Should be a fun match. Both these guys, by the way, playing tomorrow, EG versus Team Liquid. If you check out the Gosu Premier League, I'm going to be live casting that. And sorry I haven't casted in a while, or at least had any recordings on YouTube for a little bit of time, which is why I'm doing this, because I wanted to get something out for you guys. Because I was doing the Reddit tournament this weekend. That's usually when I try to cover a couple. Oops, hit that with my elbow. This is usually where I'd restart, but not going to this time. Doing the Reddit Open, or sorry, Reddit Invitational. Wow, I'm scattered on this opening. Whatever. Reddit Invitational, which was absolutely fantastic, extremely professional. I'm actually going to give a shout out to all the sponsors once again and actually addendum on that. You can hear the rustling in the background of me bringing it up. So there's StrifeCro, Zen Magnets, New Games Ninja, and HangWith.me, as well as some donors out of the community. And I wanted to point you guys to Jason Tugman in his YouTube channel. He's specifically the guy who was Hang With Me and one of the sponsors. It looks like, I'm actually going to see you, maybe not up to anything, just Supply Depot thus far, nothing too crazy. And it looks like we're on the way to, I assume, a fast expand. We'll see once we get past 200 minerals, obviously, getting ahead of myself. But just check out that rant he talked about with return on investment. It looks like we are going to see a fast expand from StrifeCro, and I think there's a difference. I felt really good with those sponsors, and I know that sounds weird because like, oh, Diggity corporate sellout, but what I mean to say is the people who are producing there don't seem like corporate lackeys, for lack of a better term. And I almost want to say that a lot of the stuff that's happening with esports and some of the small business exposure is, I think, kind of I don't know, new business in the U.S., new business at large. Check it out and see what I'm talking about. Jason seems like a very likable person, and I really like what he's doing with his website in particular. And I think that's what's different about it, and that's why I feel really positive, particularly with all the. And I know he's sponsoring it because not only is he sponsoring for exposure, but he's also sponsoring because he believes in Starcraft, and he believes in Reddit, and he believes in the community at large. Which is, I think, also what makes a big difference out of it, and that gives me warm, fuzzy feelings all around. Speaking of warm, fuzzy feelings, check out Total Biscuit, and I'm going to give him huge shout-outs across the board. If you are a fan of mine and you enjoy just kind of goofy, relaxed commentary, go check out Total Biscuit now. He's a great guy. Looks like initial SCV, and this is kind of that standard build I kind of pointed out for my last replay with Hey, LZgamer adopting it, which kind of confuses Zerg because they can't really get behind that barracks to see what's going on. 2 SCVs on the front, one of them damaged, as well as a Marine, and it looks like there is a fast expansion. There's initial 2 bunkers from LZgamer actually here to block the front. Oh, this is genius! So LZ looks like he's going to get an initial kill right there, but basically this isolates it, so only a single Marine can engage the front at a time. And more Marines coming up to support this. It looks like able to push through finally there, but more Zerglings trying to block this off, and this might have, oh wow, might have sort of been patched, and I think he meant to not have a gap there rather than have a gap, because this isn't the new patch. So both bunkers going to finish, but that's going to have to recycle. But still, LZgamer, gonna lose 2 SCVs, but not in the worst position. Yes, he hurt the harvester count significantly for StrifeCro, and I think StrifeCro probably just built 1 billion Zerglings. Yeah. So fail block from LZgamer and 2 spine crawlers. Morphe, you might want to cancel both of those actually, just because the sheer number of Zerglings. So this is kind of what you want to trigger in this build, is a lot of Zerglings, and actually like Blue Flame Hellion openings to follow this up, because once they come up here, they can't really get out. And the problem with this though is it gets a little bit more difficult to take expansions, but never mind. LZgamer actually double expanding, getting 2 command centers. That might be a snafu, or perhaps because the recycled, I assume it's because the dual recycled bunker. I mean, he was investing a lot in that, so now he has a lot of spare resources. He's going to pull some Marines off to take out the destructible rocks and expand there, and also attacking on double gas simultaneously. So nice kind of odd recovery build, see if he's able to pull it off. But I still think he's going to have trouble taking the natural expansion. And really, that's the one thing I feel like that's not a flaw, but kind of a difficulty in this build, is you provoke a lot of Zerglings in construction, and then I think Terrans, they tend to go try to take their natural expansion before they can deal with that Zergling threat. And granted, you can just run right back up your ramp, but it really tends to slow you down. In the meantime, though, StrifeCro has taken a decent amount of economic hit. Looks like he's getting that Queen up and Orbital Command up. Wow, this is kind of crazy, and I almost wonder if LZgamers are really going to be able to pull this off. Because granted, yes, this is a ton of infrastructure that he's building right now, but will he be able to execute with it? Because he's going to be very slow on the upswing otherwise. Granted, StrifeCro also very slow on the upswing, just because he invested so many in Zerglings. Let's just get a good Zergling count here. 14 Zerglings, so that's 7 harvesters it might have been, and really more likely 5 harvesters it could have been, which is significant early on. Very significant early on. So currently economically solidly in LZgamer's favor. Factory, barracks, 2 orbital commands on the interior. Well, he can't take that territory, and that's really going to jump his production with those mules. Although, again, going to be very short on Marines. I don't think it's going to hurt him too much. Second gas from StrifeCro, so probably going to a heavier, I assume, Hydra, maybe Roach build here. It is possible we will see Mutalisks, but definitely going for some higher tech rather than sticking with just the Banelings and the Zerglings early here, and going for more of a long-term expansion sort of style. But LZgamer grabbing a tech lab. Let's see if he just goes to siege tanks, also producing a lot of Marines to follow this up. Moving out, getting a bunker on the front, and I don't like what StrifeCro did here. He has all the Zerglings hugging that Xel'Naga watchtower. Didn't even harass. Actually, never mind. There's a Zergling running up, and so he's got to have an impression. It's like, oh, okay, well, and I guess he didn't have enough troops to really back this off otherwise, so you can ignore me. But now he's opening up that destructible rock, so ignore me as well. Okay, there's actually going Banelings. Wow, I'm really off this match. So getting Lair, getting Banelings. I assume we're going to see Muta Baneling here, and also opening up for that gold expansion. Actually at 36 harvesters, so doing quite well in that regard. 3 bunkers on the front for LZ, because he's definitely going to have to be in kind of the extreme defensive slot. Has that natural expansion on that protected exterior up and running. StrifeCro actually also has this Overlord kind of camping back here, so you can get a good look at the SCV saturation count. If he sees 3 mules at any time, I think he's going to have to be like, oh wait, something going on here. First siege tank out. Let's see if siege tank or siege tech is going to be upgrading. There it is, to deal with those Banelings. So after that comsat, heard a few seconds ago, I think he saw the Baneling nest. Also getting an engineering bay, because and there's the comsat in case he didn't have it before. Never mind, that was mules. That sound just a little bit off altogether. So mules, but that is a significant harvester lead here for StrifeCro. I don't know how long it's going to last. A lot of Zerglings out in the field to morph into Banelings. 2 gas running, so should be able to roll with it, not too difficultly. Actually, it's 3 gas running. I take it back, and also taking his gold expansion here, but not really being showing any sign of threat. Perhaps feeling that LZgamer, and this is actually kind of clever, saying, okay, LZgamer must have fallen behind economically because he lost a lot in that early stint. I don't think he would have expanded that quickly, although he's going to run up and probably see otherwise. And let's see if LZ is going to be able to defend against, and that, I think that's a clever response from LZ actually now going both expansions and going, oh hey, well that was trouble, so let me just go ahead and expand twice really fast and try to catch up economically. Almost catching the Overseer, literally almost. A single health left on it, just uno, 1. Natural expansion has a ton of bunkers. LZ playing extremely defensively at this stage. A ton of siege tanks, and that could definitely repel all sorts of Banelings that attempt to breach that front door. But it looks like StrifeCro, I assume, is going to make an attempt at it anyhow once he gets that centrifugal hook upgrade. It looks like he's actually going to go drops. So getting the Phenumanized Carapace, actually also getting Ground Carapace 1 to avoid those siege tanks altogether. And I think that is a very clever maneuver, rather than trying to, you know, it's flow like water, kind of Art of War sort of style. And also taking an additional expansion, knowing that LZ is very, very shell-like, more or less. He doesn't have an extremely mobile force, has a somewhat vulnerable force, in fact, coping, because these Marines, they run out in the field, they'll just get annihilated by those Banelings, particularly with the centrifugal hook upgrade. And it looks like LZ's probably going to have to wait until he gets some dropships out, which are coming momentarily. Also getting some more a lot more barracks up. Several barracks, which is actually going to bring up his count to doing a quick count, so 6, 7, 8 total off the 3 bases. And if he doesn't get a move on, wow, StrifeCro's army actually growing significantly. A lot of Banelings out in the field. It's going to be really scary with I particularly think the drops back in this location. There is a single turret to deal with it, but honestly, dropping on the low ground, rolling some Banelings in could be devastating, particularly because so many mules back here, and those mules, if you can Baneling those mules, it is golden. There's an infestation pit, so actually skipping the Mutadens altogether, also getting level 1 weapons. So very interesting play. So it's going to be fungal growth plus Baneling drops to really pin the Marines in place, pin the siege tanks in place, make it even less mobile. Looks like we're going to see maybe some Thors here. A lot of reactors being tacked on, so it's going to be very heavy Marine play from LZgamer, and he's going to need a lot of anti-Baneling to really cope with this. And this is really wacky, but very creative stuff from both players, and I really like it. There's the pathogen glands upgrade on the infestation pit, so we can get some more of that fungal growth moving. And I really think like fungal and Banelings, it's just scary. It hurts. Just even thinking about it makes my bones crack a little bit, I think. It's like, ah. In the meantime, level 1 weapons, also vehicle weapons, upgrading also starport to get the medevacs out, double upgrades for LZgamer, and he's just got all sorts of infrastructure already. And I almost wonder if we might see a Thor as well, just to provide some forward moving buffer. Infested, I love these little infested terran. Let's see if LZ is going to be heads up and see it. No, it looks like he's going to be able to walk right in to LZ's main, get all sorts of an eyeful. Looks like there was a drop in the back corner on the top line here. LZgamer trying to scoot, find a spot. Looks like he was able, I think that was a crit or bad karma. He's going to be able to stop a gas, but not get much else out of this. And it looks like StrifeCro actually abandoning this rather than engaging it, so going to drop on the low ground. Some more zerglings spawning, but just not really going to bother trying to defend that at all. This is the problem with that, not having mutalisks. You got to rely on infestation and fungal growth, or sorry, infestors and fungal growth to really pin these medevacs in place and rely on that for your anti-air, which is really, even if you're not using a lot of the mutalisks, I think they're very helpful against medevacs across the board in the air, and it looks like LZgamers is just going to camp that out to be annoying. Macro hatch on the interior for StrifeCro, which had become very popular after I ranted about how you shouldn't do it, so it shows me two spore crawlers here from StrifeCro to deal with this, but LZgamer already, wow, able to drop, might be able to get a queen here as well. I'm not sure why StrifeCro decided to pin that out there. And nothing but zerglings and banelings, unfortunately. Zerglings kind of getting in the banelings' way a little bit. LZgamer did have that cleaned up nicely. Some Marines venturing out, and I think just for a scouting expedition. Another drop in the rear with two medevacs this time. Looks like already up to Hive. Oh man, Baneling's going to clean that up nicely though as well. That fungal growth to pin those medevacs in place, so they should be taken out. Well, maybe they will be. I don't see any additional infested Marines or the Queens wandering up to take that out anytime soon, so it looks like it's going to idle there as well. So you have 3 idling medevacs, but a very large army moving out. Combat shield stim upgraded. Looks like level 1 upgrades, and 3 siege tanks going to try to take that expansion for LZgamer. So he's playing kind of a long-term shell style, and I almost wonder if he should get a Raven out in the field to more or less provide some of that forward spotting information, or at least get some more medevacs with this grouping to just really check, because that's a huge grouping of troops. I'm waiting for StrifeCro to gather up. Did I actually miss some drops here in the background? I think I might have. I'm actually checking the units lost tab. Perhaps not. I do have some zerglings in the bottom left-hand corner. I'm still waiting for the drops. Maybe StrifeCro didn't actually upgrade the drop. And LZgamer now taking the opportunity while that army is away to move forward. He's going to be able to take out another queen. This is a really nice kind of arena of approach, and I really like his decision to engage here, but this is a big army kind of out of position. This is a nice turn engagement point too, because a beautiful ramp to basically force the zerglings to come, and you can see LZgamer also leaving some siege tanks along his rear, but StrifeCro in a lot of trouble. Well, never mind, counterattack on the front door, but plenty of bunkers, plenty of siege tanks. LZ needs to get the Marines in the bunkers if he's going to defend this though. So now, and this is what I was talking about, the Banelings coming from behind, pincer attack here, but wow, never mind. StrifeCro able to just plow through that, destroy everything very, very quickly. I think some of those tanks were unsieged, which allowed more of those Banelings through, and perhaps just didn't have the bulk army he needed to really penetrate there. But his front door does stand. It looks like he's sending out some more medevacs for some more attacks, despite the kind of floating. These guys are lazy. They're like, we've done our job, who cares? 1 health medevac now wandering out in the field. Checking in the overall harvester, this is a problem for LZ, is losing that huge army like that, particularly the way StrifeCro is mining. He is going to have a lot of trouble pushing out and getting any sort of territorial control. It's going to be scary. It looks like LZgamer waking up and realizing, oh yeah, medevacs out in the field. 2 more medevacs moving up. Looks like they want to try to tack away here at either this expansion or, I mean, this medevac is still sitting there, which means there's plenty of room to kind of approach and maybe even take the high ground. I don't think there's an Overlord spotting. I don't even see an Overlord in the area to provide some of that high ground. Well, never mind, Overlord's actually moving in right now. Losing track of those medevacs a little bit. Bring up the production tab for you guys so you can see the level 2 Ultralisks actually in production. Ouch. Ouch, this is really going to suck. Ultra Den, it just looks so cute actually, kind of huddled up. I like the way that looks. Loading out on the low ground. I'm going to stim pack forward. He's just going blindly into an expansion that's not there. Now going to move over that cliffside edge. Unfortunately, the spotting is there with the Overlords. Very quickly taking out everything to defend it, but I don't think this is really the best angle attack. So yes, you took out the spores, but you're going to have to load right back up, drop on the low ground. In the meantime, StrifeCro is going to have plenty of response time between the Fungals and the Banelings and everything else, but going for a counterattack while that army is out of position, hoping he would overcommit, and running into a huge brick wall. Actually, seeing the Ultralisks must be crapping his pants. Oh, the Fungal plus the Ultralisk. The carnage, the pure carnage. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. there an army stood half a second yonder, and the only Marines remaining are infested, perhaps from the very corpses that were in the ground. I should actually pay attention to some of the attacks happening in the background. So LZgamer, as soon as he's moving out now, StrifeCro with the economy, with the banelings, with the troops, just making it look easy, plowing through everything, and just a very scary Ultralisk force to just hit him in the meantime and just pin him into his bottom right quadrant of this map. He's desperately trying to move up, get some sort of territory so he can maybe take the gold expansion and kind of expand in and just get some nice territorial control. Somehow the Marine's alive up here, and I guess I should have spotted that. Did empty that from StrifeCro, but StrifeCro still has plenty of bases to mine from. I mean, he still has that 12 o'clock, he still has that 9 o'clock. Looks like an Ultralisk just kind of waddling his way in, and he's just going to go and hang out. And, having some little bit of difficulty. Let's see if, in combination with Fungal, it should be cleaned up. No, in the meantime, I'm missing a lot of attacks here on the front. Ooh, a lot of attacks. And oh man, everything charging in. Those Ultras trying to provide some coverage for those Banelings. Not quite doing so, but they still are able to get there. Not the best engagement. A little bit smaller force from StrifeCro does clean up the siege tanks. And this is actually critical mass now of Marines, so I don't think StrifeCro is going to have enough Banelings to really charge and press through this. Looks like he's bringing some of those Ultras back, so maybe this will be a large enough just brute task force, natural expansion engine from StrifeCro, but again, plenty of economy to work with. Ultras charging in, maybe some Fungal. There's the Fungal to support, and wow, they just melt under that combination. Ooh, that hurts. And so StrifeCro, it almost looks like a drop pushing in. This is huge, actually. If this drop does significant damage, LZgamer's right back in this match. Maybe he can take some territory to follow this up, but otherwise, if he doesn't win this engagement, if he doesn't do significant damage with this attack, very likely he's going to get pinned out, starved out over the long term, and StrifeCro's just going to allow his creep to just take, basically, let the creep do the talking for him, take all the territory, working down that hive. Looks like some Zerglings running in, trying to delay him. Banelings running up. The Banelings able to take out the Marines, except for a sole survivor. And never mind, he was immediately unloaded and crushed as well. Now Marines without medevac support running out in the field. I guess the medevac's not exactly providing worthwhile help here. Looks like there is a hatchery going up, and this is... Wow, LZgamer on full attack mode now. He realizes he has to take everything StrifeCro has with what he has on the ground, because he's not going to be taking territory anytime soon. Very quickly picking off that expansion, just sacking a huge group of Marines to do so, also losing a medevac. Does have another army out there, but this is, yeah, it's going to come down to just persistent attacks like that. Down to 41 harvesters for StrifeCro. So LZgamer getting it done despite main empty, natural expansion thin, well, second natural thin. I guess I'll call that the second natural, even though I'm protected natural expansion. I think that's the proper nomenclature we'll use. Oh, go for the infest. Never mind. Gonna dive in, but the Zerglings are there, the Ultralisks are there, and the Infestors not too far behind. LZgamer dropping once again, just trying to do some scattered drops at the main. Not gonna happen. Does he even have some troops left? Okay, he does have a full load of troops left to try to keep StrifeCro out of position, so he's just gonna go for some shenanigans, try to drop on the back edge, maybe slow down StrifeCro's economy. StrifeCro is down to 41 harvesters. I think he's actually got a, maybe not a full army count. Wow, surprising that it'd be this low at this stage of the game. Gonna at least be able to take out a gold base, and I almost wonder if StrifeCro's gotta be thinking, okay, maybe counterattack at this stage, because that's scary. It's just scary to look at. Marines just going to chill up there on the high ground, feel very protected and confident in themselves. StrifeCro, even though he doesn't have a lot of harvesters, he's got a ton of territory, a lot of expansions. LZgamer still ahead in supply somehow. As far as the income tab, though, you're going to see that plummet drastically shortly. It looks like he's lifting off his main to try to take this gold. I have no idea how he's going to hold this through the long run, particularly with all these Ultralisks, all these Infestors, all these Zerglings, the Banelings. Oh my. Out in the field, and I assume StrifeCro is just going to run up and just tack this. Surprised he's actually not filling this up, and wow, Mules actually to provide a huge buffer. Overlord has spotted this, and that is going to stir the swarm. Oh yeah, that's definitely going to stir it. Oh, that's a big, scary attack force. LZgamer trying to hold the middle ground here, but there's another path. Am I showing that correctly? Yes, another pathway, so it can be a double engagement. Here StrifeCro goes, going to go across the low ground. Beautiful fungal growth to eat through all sorts of those Marines. Banelings coming from the north. Siege tanks on the low ground taken out. Fungal growth as well as infested Marines all over the siege tanks. Unfortunately, it's not a planetary fortress to help defend. Ultralisk still standing, and a lot of those siege tanks cleaning up, and so there might, let's see if there's a counterattack now from StrifeCro to really build some troops back up really rapidly and continue with this attack. Now that the siege tanks have been peeled up, just 2 Ultralisks out of that, so his economy perhaps hurting quite a bit. Doesn't have a lot in the bank really to cope with. So looks like the Ultra is trying to eat through that that orbital command as swiftly as possible. LZgamer repairing it very nicely, though, and without the Infestor to support these Ultralisks, he is rejecting it very, very quickly. No Banelings out in the field as well. One Ultralisk exploding there. Come on, quick fungal. No quick fungal to see some awesomeness. It looks like there wasn't enough energy for fungal growth, and Siege Tanks again able to take the low ground. LZgamer's lifeline hangs on at this stage and still has these Marines just hanging out, doing their best. Checking out in the field. StrifeCro has a lot of territory, but again, just not the best saturation at any of these expansions. So gold expansion looking kind of thin. This expansion is actually his highest saturation. This gold expansion probably needs to be transferred. Perhaps he's just wondering about cracking the LZgamer nut here. LZgamer, oh, gonna get a big harvest of Overlords and perhaps another expansion. Oh, wow. Definitely getting a Infestor there to start. Oof, pops. And that's level 3 weapons for you with these Marines. Very formidable. Level 2 armor as well, making them pretty strong. So again, it's going to come down to those fungals and those ultras to really cope with this. Maybe the Banelings. Well, the Banelings, it looks like, have become less popular just because of the sheer amount of Marines. So trying to gather up, they are going to be able to pin a lot of those troops in and take out some of them, but I still think this is too many Marines for that army to engage. That is in fact the case. And the Medivacs, that's the thing, is it has to be a killing blow. Otherwise, that's not going to get it done. More Marines pushing up. Looks like they're going to be able to take out this gold expansion before it was really able to run for StrifeCro. So LZgamer's showing some life here, and it looks like getting back in this match, and some more fungal growth. And again, just Zerglings. There is a single Ultralisk, but it doesn't look like the Ultralisk is going to engage. He just doesn't have the root power to bust through these Marines now with these Medivacs overhead. And it looks like another drop moving up again across the main for LZgamer. And now I don't think StrifeCro actually has enough troops to really cope with this. Going with, looks like some Marines on the ground as well to delay. Lots of Queens getting eaten alive to stop a lot of that larva production. Let's see if he can actually whittle down the hive, or maybe some of this infrastructure otherwise, retreating with those Medivacs. Now simultaneously, some Zerglings running up. There is only a single Medivac. Takes out the hive! So it looks like the Zerglings are going to be able to clean this up, but the damage has been done. And wow, LZgamer suddenly back in this. I love StrifeCro realizing LZgamer needs to expand again. Probably he's going to want to take that gold expansion, just finding up there. But I think LZgamer might have taken this match just by crippling, just being everywhere at once, uploading those lazy Marines off the high ground onto the low ground. StrifeCro just not saturating any of these bases well. Again, trying to run up, got some nice fungals, some more good Banelings. Looks like in a drop, and actually was able to clean up that Medivac. So I guess they were lazy for a reason. Another drop here in the upper left-hand corner from LZ to try to clean this up. Simultaneous attack off a very new hatchery at the 9 o'clock. Well, I guess, well, I don't know what to call that. Inside 9 o'clock is what I'm going to call it. Marines everywhere on the map right now. LZgamer is just tanking him, literally. Everywhere at once. Oh, Ultralisk. I love how they just fall apart. It's like they're barely held together by string. It's like you have the Zerg Queen. They're just very carefully knitting those Ultralisks together, and they split apart. Another hatchery down, and now StrifeCro in a lot of trouble because he's mined out. He doesn't really have a lot of territory to cover. His income is drastically dropped, and for whatever reason, he does not have an answer for this Marine force of LZgamer actually loading up. Still some, looks like just a couple Zerglings running in their big counterattack. It's just Banelings and Zerglings. Oh, Marines eating a lot of Banelings there, and wow, really melted that attack force. But looks like drones in that attack as well. It stands. StrifeCro realizing he just didn't have the economy to stand toe-to-toe with LZgamer anymore. GG's. Wow, exciting match. Very good. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, check out Jason Tugman's YouTube channel. It might even be off hangwith.me, and check that out and see what I'm talking about in that regard. screddit.com, of course, and tomorrow live streaming during the night, EG Premier League, which is going to be a lot of fun. Team Liquid versus Team EG. And I'm also doing live streaming at large on my own channel, justin.tv/DiggySC, although it's mostly League of Legends, and it's been kind of laggy lately. I'm still figuring out. It's like consummate computer problems for me. But anyway, long exit tro. Thanks for listening, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it.